We are really proud of his presence here. We are all gathered here to hear from Prem Rawat. Please join me in welcoming Prem Rawat.
Thank you very much. Medical Superintendent, Dean, faculty, students, distinguished guests. A few days ago, I was wondering what I'm going to be saying at this forum. Medicine for peace. I mean, that's a nice headline, but is there really a pill for peace? Because that would be nice if there was a pill for peace. You just take it and you have peace. So I started thinking, is there a pill for peace? And all of a sudden, I realized that there was. There actually is a pill for peace. Now, I know you're sitting there going, what? We're doctors. We have never come across a pill for peace. That would be too good. We could just hand you the pill and we could take a whole bunch, right, as doctors. And what Harish Gupta was talking about, Dr. Carr was talking about, that, we as doctors also need, I'm not a doctor, but we as doctors also need peace. Well, that would be great, but there is a pill. And what is it? Well, it's called consciousness. And to tell you about it more, I will quote Darya Maharaj. Darya soya sakal jag. Everybody's asleep. Darya soya sakal jag. Jagat nahi hai koi. जागे में फिर जागना, जागा कहिए सोए. That's the pill for peace. To be awakened. You have something exceptional going on. Something amazing is happening. What is it? For approximately 4.5 billion years, you were dirt. That's the age of the earth, 4.5 billion years. So for 4.5 billion years, you were dirt. Now, some scientists figure that it'll be about 15 billion years, 20 billion years, the earth is going to be around. After that, it'll disappear. So, for the next 15 billion years, what are you going to be? Dust. You were dust, you're going to be dust. What are you now? You are alive. The dust talks. The dust smiles. The dust dances. The dust cures other dust of ailments. The dust thinks about going to Mars. The dust wants to discover the universe. You being alive is the exception to the dust. Dust you were, dust you will be. Being alive, you are an exception. Question is this exception exceptional? Is it exceptional? Or do you have the same excuses as everybody else on the face of this earth? I don't have time. That's the best excuse that we have been able to come up with. I don't have time. I don't have time for my family. I don't have time for my friends. I don't have time for my work. I don't have time for my patients. I don't have time for God. I don't have time for me. I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. Listen, next time you say, I don't have time, you are forecasting your own future. Be very careful, because that's exactly what's going to happen. Once you become dust again, time doesn't matter. Time only matters when you are alive. As dust, it doesn't matter. It does what it does. It blows around. It is the ultimate state of all things that came from it, go back to it. All the stones were made from it, and they go back to being dust. Don't forecast your future that way. Think. Be awakened. Be awakened. Because this, what you say of so many things in your life, you say because you are actually inebriated. Not with alcohol, but with ignorance. Problem is, when you are inebriated with alcohol, after the alcohol goes away from your body, you will become sober. But the inebriation of ignorance does not leave your body. You stay that way. Every day that comes by, what is its meaning? What is its value? This is the possibility for you to be you, for you to be alive, for you. As a doctor, be first a human. It's very easy to don the coat. This is who I am. This is what happens to me. There I am. In the morning, I get up. I take my shower. I have nothing on. I take my towel. I dry myself. And the day I'm going to go fly, I grab my pilot shirt and I put that on. And I become something. Now I'm the captain. The doctor grabs his stethoscope, grabs his coat, walks into the premises of the hospital. Who am I? I'm a doctor. But who are you? You're a human being. That's your fundamental first step. You are a human being. If you forget that, if I forget that, and it is only about the 4 stripes on the shoulders, or it is about the stethoscope, or it is about the jacket, I've lost the point. Look at this world. Look at this world. People are not behaving like whom? As human beings. Exactly. They're not behaving as human beings. They're behaving like anybody else but human beings. And with all the advancement in science, as human beings, it's taking us backwards. We have more educated people on the face of this earth today than we ever did. There are more schools on the face of this earth today than there ever were. There are more universities on the face of this earth than there ever were. And we have taken, and we're missing the key ingredient called humanity. Maybe the pill to peace lies in you being a human. Not in somebody's pocket. Not on top of some mountain. Not in some pledge. And indeed, maybe not even on any paper or ink. But it lies. The answer that you are looking for lies within you. You were not sent on this earth unarmed. Every creature, every living thing on this earth has its niche. Otherwise, it would be lost. You know, this is a huge laboratory. And experiments go on all day, all night, all day, all night. We call it evolution. Things are trying to evolve. If they have a niche, if they have a purpose, if they can find that niche on this earth, they get to be. If they don't, even as large as dinosaurs were wiped out. Had no reason, had no purpose anymore. Gone. All we have now is the giant bones. We look at them, we marvel. Have you ever wondered what your niche is? You have to have one. Otherwise, you wouldn't be around. What is your niche? Find that niche. Find that understanding. Find that clarity. Find that being awake. Jage mein phir jagna. See, we all come out and go, yeah, I'm awake. Are you? Are you really awake? Not according to Darya. Darya soya sakal jag. Everybody is sleeping. जागत नहीं है कोई. और कैसा जगना? What should it be like? जागे में फिर जागना. नहीं, आंख खुल गई, eyes open, and that's enough. That's what we think. What is the formula? A cup chai. 1 cup of tea, I'm awake. Not according to Darya, you're not. 1 cup coffee and I'm awake. Not according to Darya, you're not. My eyes are open, I can see. Not according to Darya, you're not. You're still sleeping. Sleeping in that sleep of ignorance. People say to me, what is enlightenment? And I say, knowing about others is wisdom. Knowing about the self is enlightenment. Do you know you? At the end of the day, you might have a patient and you've run 10 tests on him, gotten an MRI and this and this and this. You know more about that patient than you know about yourself. Yeah, he's sick, he's got this disease, he's got this problem, he's this year, this is how many years old he is, he's from this village, he's married to so-and-so, his father's name was so. You know more about him than about you. To make grounds fertile for peace, it has to begin with you, not with somebody else. Not with somebody else. If you do not realize the value of you, you know, we have great respect in our culture for gurus. But in my opinion, all a guru can give you is a mirror. And that's what he gives you. He gives you a mirror. Look at yourself. But if you have no desire to look at yourself, what's a mirror going to do? If you have no desire to look at yourself, do you have the desire to look at yourself? Do you have the desire for peace? Or is peace just a word to you? Most people in this world, peace just means another word. And the foregone conclusion is what I come up against all the time: impossible. The diagnosis that the doctors of this world, not the medical doctors, the doctors of this world have made for peace, it's dead. And the only place where it comes into play is on a headstone at a graveyard. Rest in peace. If that's the only time we're going to find peace, we're in big trouble. We are in big trouble. Peace has to be in our hearts, dancing in our hearts, now, today, not when we're dead. It cannot just be a fancy word, medicine for peace. Sounds good, but it has to mean something. And that's why I wanted to quote Darya for you this evening, because to be awake, to be conscious, to realize what the possibility is. You have all that you need. भीखा भूखा कोई नहीं, सबकी गठरी लाल, गठरी खोलना भूल गए, इस विधि भय कंगाल. This is what I was saying. You have a niche too. You have everything you need. But you need to understand and nurture the thirst. The thirst, the understanding, the need for peace in your life. Will it help you become a better doctor? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. But it'll help you become a better human. That I do know. Does a better human make a better doctor? You're the doctor. You should know. Because, like Dr. Carr was saying, it becomes also mechanical. Yes, this is what's wrong with you. Here's the drugs. Let's do another blood test. You know, my advice to doctors is that red stuff called blood should stay in, not go out. This is what I tell the doctors. What happens? Very, very recently, a funny thing happened. Well, actually, it wasn't that funny. My doctor, my personal physician, had to have surgery. Had to have surgery. I'm very glad to say everything went fine. So I went to visit him. I went to visit my doctor. I asked another doctor, I said, how is he doing? He said, he wants to go home. And all the doctors don't want to let him go home because they want to keep him under observation and he wants to go home. So when I came in, I was armed with the best joke, right? Which is, doctor, how does it feel to be a patient? You want to go home. That's exactly all your patients want to do. All your patients. They want to go home, like you do. You want to go home too. They want to go home too. Oh, but they don't know. They know one thing, they want to go home. And so, when the shoe is on the other foot, what does it feel like? What does it feel like? And this is exactly what you need to understand. That sometimes it is so easy, in the interest of professionalism, in the interest of all the isms, we forget what it is like to be human. We forget the value of this breath. We forget what an incredible miracle it is. Incredible, incredible miracle it is that this breath comes into us. You know, one analogy I give a lot, I say, if you're lying in a hospital and you've got that monitor hooked up to you, and the monitor shows you're dead, flatline, everything, oxygen's flatline, blood pressure is flatline, heart rate is flatline. And the doctor looks at the patient, he's still alive. Who do you think he's going to hit? The patient or the machine? You think he's really going to go to the patient and say, hey, you idiot, you're dead. Stop breathing. You're dead. You're clinically dead. No, he's going to go to the machine and hit it. You are wrong because he is alive. The miracle of existence. Existence is also happening for you. For you, each one of you. There's something taking place which is not letting you be just the dirt. But you're alive, you're awake, you can see, you can feel, you can understand. Do you respect that? Every moment as it comes into you. Do you understand the value of being alive? Alive. Not just alive, clinical alive, but alive. Jaage mein fir jagna. Alive. To feel. To feel. And not this, just a word. But when somebody says to you, peace, you go, I understand what you mean by peace. Because I too understand my thirst for peace. And that I want peace in my life. Not just a hood ornament, but something real. I want that feeling of being fulfilled every single day. You know, what makes you a good doctor? If you can fix a patient, send him home. Two people you really don't want to hear from, I'll see you soon. One is doctor, and the other one is a police wala. So, and yet, so many doctors think that they can play against death. I wish you could. You try, but it happens. You're trying, where the patient goes, bye, I'm gone. And I've seen doctors who have tried, and then it didn't happen, it didn't work, and then the patient died, and it's like, wow. Maybe there's a shock for a minute. The first time, supposedly, it's a real shock. And after that, it gets a little less and get a little less, and you get your pep talk, oh, it's okay, it's okay. You know, if you're going to be a doctor, you're going to see this day and night. And the hospital is one of those places. You know, there's people checking in and then checking out somewhere else. And yet, in this atmosphere of birth and death, still, the most powerful thing is that life, is that breath, is the coming and going of that miracle. If you want, peace doesn't need to remain a word. It can become something beautiful. What will it do for the world? I don't know. People are shocked when I say, I don't know. But isn't the world that needs the peace? Huh? Isn't it the world that needs the peace? No. The world doesn't need the peace. You do. We, as individuals, need the peace. If we, the individuals, had the peace, the world peace would be there. The only things that bother the crows, the whales, the dolphins, the tigers, the lions, the snakes, are people. Are people. They have nothing better to do. They'd rather go and they take pride on instruments and spend billions and billions and billions and indeed trillions of dollars is spent in trying to invent machinery that will cause destruction. How much money do you think is actually spent for peace? How much money do you think is actually spent for peace? Zilch. This is how much we understand about peace. Peace has become maybe someday when the skies will open, a big beam of light will come, and then there will be peace. We're waiting for the angel to ascend from the skies to bring peace. If you went to a restaurant and ordered a coffee, and then the waiter said, "Sorry, wait for the skies to open up," your waiter angel will bring you your coffee. What will you say? Hey, I want it now. Not 10 years from now. I want it now. When it comes to peace, oh yeah, someday. Everybody on the face of this earth has a reason why there is not peace. I invite, because I think it takes the same amount of brain horsepower to figure out why there can't be peace, to figure out a way there can be peace. I invite everybody on the face of this earth to change their thinking habit from going not possible to yes, how it can be. Could you do that? People will, I'm sure some of you are sitting here, well, no, those guys won't do it, so why should I do it? No, not come up with a reason for no, come up with a reason for yes. What is possible? When the moon mission was afoot, there were a lot of scientists said, there is no way man can go on the moon. That became a reality not because of those people who said it cannot be done, but because of those people who said it can be done. And the same thing has to happen for peace. Peace is required not only and will be appreciated not only by the patients, not only by the doctors, not only by your neighbor, not only by your family, because you are not alone. You are shared by many. You are shared by many. You affect your wife. You affect your children. You affect your colleagues. You affect the person who is next to you stuck in the traffic jam. You affect the police officer for whom you didn't stop. You affect so many people during the day and night, for that matter, you don't even realize. You're constantly affecting somebody and somebody and somebody and somebody and somebody. And when you are not in peace, that's how many times all those things that are the absence of peace are multiplied. When you are not in peace, your wife may not be in peace. Your children may not end up in peace. Her father may not end up in peace, all because of you. Your neighbor, your dog. But when you are in peace, and something beautiful happens. When you are in peace, you have the ability to take someone who is feeling pain and anger and bring them a little comfort. I call it the 5-second heaven. In your life, try this, okay? Just try. Why not 10 seconds? Why not 1 minute? Why not 1 hour? That'll come later. Start with 5 seconds. Try to create a 5-second heaven for someone you like. Just 5 seconds. Just start 5 seconds. Try your wife. 5-second heaven for your wife. 5-second heaven for your child. 5-second heaven for your patient. How do you create it? Very easy. 5 seconds. Listen. Listen. You will not burn any calories. There's no penalty. Just listen. Because in this world, husbands don't listen to their wife. Wives don't listen to their husband. Children don't listen to their parents. Parents don't listen to their children. Politicians don't listen to the public. Public doesn't listen to the politicians. Doctors don't listen to the patients. Patients don't listen to their doctors. Listen. 5 seconds. Just listen. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Listen to your heart. Not the dung, dung, dung. But listen to that heart that is telling you to be in peace, that is telling you to be in joy, telling you to be free, telling you to be content, telling you to be awake. 5 seconds. Just 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Look at the person who's stuck in the traffic jam. Maybe you can't pat his back. I don't think he'll appreciate it. Give him a smile. 5 seconds. Not more. 5 seconds. The day you begin, have you seen those plastic candles? Those digital plastic candles, they're about this big. You just have an on-off switch. You can just put it. When I first saw that, I said, this is it. This is great. No fire danger, no problem. You want candle, just turn this on. And now they even flicker and they do everything. But then I said to myself, there is something that a candle does that this can never do. You know what it is? A candle that is lit can light another unlit candle. This digital candle can never do that. You as a human being, if you are a lit candle, you can light another candle. The 5-second heaven. Maybe peace is not that impossible. Maybe peace is not that difficult. If we can change our way of looking at peace. Because the most beautiful news is this. It doesn't have to be created. Peace is already there. If it has to be created, then we have truly a very big challenge afoot. The good news is peace doesn't have to be created. It is dancing in the heart of every single human being, regardless of religion, regardless of race, regardless of color, regardless of whether they're rich, whether they're poor, whether they're educated, whether they are uneducated, whatever the circumstances may be, the peace is dancing in the heart of every single human being. It's here. Peace, my friends, has to be discovered, not created. And that's the peace that's going to make the difference. So I hope you find the value of peace in your life, find the thirst for peace in your life. I thank you all very much for listening to me. This is my effort. I go around the world and I try to bring this message. I think what makes it unique, it is not hiding behind some religion. It is not hiding behind some other cause. It is being very honest, what I have experienced in my life. Yes, I started speaking when I was 4 years old. So next month, in December, I turn 57, and that'll make it 53 years of how long I've been speaking about this subject. Now, have always people received this message and said, oh yeah, we agree with you? No, people disagree with me. That's not the point whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Think about what I said. Just give it a thought. That's all I want you to do. Just give it a thought that it is possible. Look at it from another angle. You know, you take a coin, you do look both sides of it, don't you? Don't you? And when you look at the other side, you hope to find the other side. What if that coin had the same side on both sides? That's a fake coin. If you only can think one way, you are a one-sided person. You have the ability to think both ways. And that's all I ask for, is that you think the other way too. Because if I started thinking the way a lot of people think, I would have never spoken at 4, and I would be doing something else. But instead, I go because I think that there is a possibility that peace lies inside of you. I have heard this by many, many, many before me have said exactly the same thing. Peace that you're looking for is inside of you, and I know that that is true. Now you need to experience that too. So thank you very much, and I really appreciate you giving me this time. Thank you.
Who else can be a more befitting person to grace this occasion like this than the Global Peace Ambassador, Prem Rawat? Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome Prem Rawat.
Officers of the Defense Services, dignitaries, faculty, students, ladies and gentlemen, would you like to hear a story? Well, yes, no, yes, no. All right, here it comes. Once a king heard that in one of the villages in his kingdom, somebody had come up with a way of living forever. The king was very excited. He wanted to live forever. So he immediately dispatched for his ambassador. He said, "You are to go, and to go immediately. Don't waste any time. Go and find out this way of living forever." And the king insisted, "Don't waste any time." So the ambassador set out. But unfortunately, by the time the ambassador arrived, the man who had invented the way to live forever died. Now, it was a few days' journey, so by the time the ambassador came back, the king had been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And the king said, "So, did you find, when the ambassador returned, did you find the way to live forever?" The ambassador said, "Sire, I'm very, very sorry, but by the time I got there, the guy had died." The king was furious. I told you to leave immediately. You must have delayed, and that is the reason the guy died before you got there. Had you been 2 minutes early, you could have found out the way to live forever. You must be punished. Big ruckus. The king is to decide how to punish the ambassador who was late by 2 minutes so that he could not learn the way to live forever. Big debate going on, everybody shouting, screaming. A wise man happened to be walking by, heard the ruckus, and said, "What's going on?" He said, "Sir, this is this ambassador, it is his fault, and I wanted to know how to live forever, and had he been 2 minutes early, it would have happened. 2 minutes late, guy died. Now I don't know." The wise men said, "Is it not apparent to you that this man did not know how to live forever? Had he known how to live forever, he wouldn't have died even if the guy was 2 days late. You have missed the obviousness of the situation." Obviousness. What is the obviousness of the situation? That's the end of the story. What is the obviousness of the situation? Well, here is the obviousness of the situation. We, the people of this planet Earth, happen to be the only ones around for billions and billions of light years of space. Okay? I mean, I'm not talking about like a mile this way or 2 miles that way. For billions of light years worth of space, we're the only ones. I know there's a lot of scientists here, so please forgive me, I'm not a scientist. But I know there's a lot of scientists who are looking for life out there, sending various crafts, sending various things. And as you have already heard, I'm a pilot, so I like gadgets, all kinds of gadgets. And so I like all the technology. But if those scientists are looking for life, I know a place where there is one. It's a planet. And it's an incredibly beautiful planet. And there's life there. And it's called Earth. It's right here. I know that in anticipation that one day this Earth won't be there, so mankind could possibly go somewhere else and be, we missed the point of what Einstein had said, that everything that is created will be destroyed, and that includes the entire universe. Nothing will be left. Nothing. So here we are, as human beings, trying to coexist on the face of this earth, and we have miserably failed to do so. I'm just being obvious. If this was a report card, if today you had to make a report card on how we are doing on the face of this earth, what flying marks, passing marks do you think we would get? There are people who go hungry on the face of this earth when approximately 1.2 billion tons of food, which is approximately 50% of the world food production, is wasted. Wasted. Nobody gets it. Nobody. How are we doing? How are we doing? Have we learned the formula to embrace each other, or have we come up with a formula how to hate each other? Just being obvious. Just being obvious. Just being obvious. As a father, and I am a father, and I have 4 children, all grown up, and they used to fight over petty things, nothing important. Petty things. You broke my toy. What do you think I would tell them? Some of you must be fathers. And when your children fight, what do you say? Bravo, kill them. Whoever emerges victorious, come to me. Is that what you would do? If you did that, somebody, I'm sure, from Dr. Ravi Shankar's department will pay you a visit. What we wouldn't do to our own children, we do to each other. We have become experts at figuring out our differences, but we have not yet figured out how to see our similarities. That we are the same. Maybe we speak different language, but do you think we say anything different? Whether it is Japanese saying, I want a glass of water, or it is somebody from northern India saying, I want a glass of water, or whether it is being said in Telugu or Tamil or Gujarati or Nepalese, English, French, Dutch, we say the same things. We say the same things because our needs are the same. We don't have different needs. What do we need? That is decided by nature. 3 minutes without air. If you're in really good shape. I've just broken it down to 3-minute rules, threes. 3 minutes. Maybe 3 days without water. 3 weeks, if you're in good shape, without food. 3 hours, hypothermia. If you're not too warm or too cold. We're fragile. Ask a doctor how many degrees does it take to be qualified as hypothermic versus hypothermia setting in. Too hot, too cold, not much, a few degrees. That's how fragile you are. Your strength does not lie here. Your strength lies here. You can figure out solutions to problems. But are we? Are we working those solutions out? We have discussions, we have lectures, but are we looking at the obviousness? Are we looking at the obviousness that the peace that we want on the face of this earth is not the one that is created? If we're looking for a created peace, it will never happen because we can't decide on anything. And collectively, it gets much worse. If tonight's dinner was to be decided by all of you very wise people sitting here, we're not going to have dinner tonight. We're not. Somebody will say something, somebody will say something, somebody will say something, somebody will say something. Ideal. On a very fundamental level, because I believe in the integrity of an individual. I don't see countries. I see individuals. I don't see societies. I'm sorry. You don't have to be like me. I'm not here to sell you me. I'm not here to sell you anything. But I see individuals. When I went to that prison, I saw individuals. I'm going to another prison in South Africa, the Zandawata, to meet with individuals. Poverty, the disease. And it is. Just think the kinds of things poverty gives birth to. Poverty. What are we doing about it? What are we doing about it? Oh, yeah, well, poverty will go away when there is a better distribution of wealth. How long, excuse me, just being obvious, how long do you think human beings have been trying to achieve that? How long? There's this idea of how money came about. When the farmers used to travel with big, jars of rice or oil or whatever, it was very difficult for them to be traveling through the whole market carrying these jars. So they would take the jars and deposit it in a place, and the guy would give them a little coupon, and it represented that jar, and it had a seal on it. So then you could walk around the market with these little coins or these little clay tablets. And if somebody wanted to trade, you said, here, you can go and collect the jars and I'll take your buffalo. We've been trying. Listen, if you had a son in school or a child in school that failed 1 year, you may still passionately look at that kid and go, okay, I haven't been paying enough attention to that child. I should pay more attention. Mommy, you should pay more attention, Let's go talk to the teacher. Maybe he can have extra tuition or whatever. Then he fails the second year. Maybe he's just a little slow. Then he fails the third year. He's a little bit slower than the rest of them. 4 years. 5 years. 6 years? After that, you're going to start questioning whether he's actually related to you or not. Maybe you would want to talk to the mother and say, are you sure this is my DNA? Perhaps we need to have a medical blood test. My dear friends, this has been going on, not for 4 years, not for 5 years, not for 6 years. This has been going on for thousands of years. And there is no end in sight. In the name of making things better, things are actually starting to get worse. There was 790% increase in the prison population in the United States of America in the last 30 years. $790% increase. I mean, if this keeps going, everybody is going to end up inside. There'll be nobody left outside. Why are we not addressing? I'm not against technology, I'm not against defense, I'm not against any one of these things, and I see there's a lot of distinguished people here who help preserve the integrity of this country. There's 7.5 billion people on the face of this earth. At the rate increases it's going, you're going to have to fight everybody, including yourself. How do you do that? When do we start taking a look at the obviousness of the situation and say, wait a minute, we need to figure out, we're doing what people were doing at the time when Alexander came through India. When are we going to start looking at the obviousness of the situation and recognize that the time has come for peace? And the peace needs to be given a chance. The peace that dwells in the heart of every single human being. That is already there, that does not have to be created, but that already exists. To uncover it, to give it the opportunity to manifest itself for the benefit, if it doesn't benefit us, at least our children and our grandchildren, because the world that we will leave behind for them is going to be a pathetic one. Peace. The peace that is not born of duality, nor of anger, nor sacrifice of anger, brings that peace about. But the peace that begins when you make peace with yourself, with you, not with your neighbor. That comes later. That's important, but that comes later. The peace that needs to be the peace that dwells in the heart of every single human being. This has economic repercussions. This has scientific repercussions. Because it is in the state of turmoil, only one thing happens: more turmoil. Peace begets peace. War begets war. To be here on this dais today, to be able to have this opportunity to talk to you, such distinguished people, is my pleasure. My pleasure, because perhaps you will join me in some small way, big way, left way, right way, back way, forward way, and you will give it a thought. Because I know, look, I've been talking about this since I was 4 years old. I was 4 years old when I was talking not to 2 people in my living room. I'm talking about hundreds or thousands of people who were there. And everywhere I go around the world, you know what I hear? It's not possible. It's not possible. It will never happen. And I say to them, hey, you're not using your horsepower. You're using brain, horsepower. What are you using for? To come up with a way of saying it is not possible. Why don't you turn that around and use this horsepower for saying, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Who do you think is going to bring peace? Some angel? That angel better have a TCAS, right? With all you flyer boys out there. Traffic, traffic. No. If you're waiting for an angel to come, then I have good news for you. The angel has come. And you know who the angel is? You. And I'm not talking about the one that's going to bring peace to the world, peace to you. Because remember, that's where it begins. I know that you are a great influence in your life. Decisions that you make influence your life. Maybe you need to start taking a look at the possibility of peace in your existence. Just a thought. Just a thought. Just a thought. I go around the world. I haven't yet seen the world. I haven't. I go around the world many, many times, but I haven't seen the world. I see people. They look a little different from here to there, to there, to there, but when I start talking to them, they're all exactly the same. Exactly the same. I went to China. I went with my family, and so we were taking a tour of the Emperor's Palace. There was the guide, George. Can you imagine? His name was George. So I said to George, George, when we were at the Emperor's Palace, I said, George, there's something wrong. He looked at me like, what? I said, isn't this all made feng shui? He said, yes, it's all feng shui. I said, it didn't work, did it? George looked at me with eyes about that big, going, what do you mean? I said, well, wasn't this meant to keep the emperors in and us out? He goes, yes. I said, well, it didn't work because we're in and the emperors are out. All of this changes. The desire for peace of human beings will not change. People today who hear the message of peace through the peace education program, you know what they have to say, and so many of them do? Could you show this to my children too? Because they're walking on the same path as me and they're going to end up here. That's how powerful it is. That's how real it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I won't take much more of your time, but I would like to just humbly request that you give what I have said today a little thought. That's all I ask for. You don't have to go fill any forms. You don't have to go and do any protests. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to go on a diet. You don't have to lose 40 pounds. You don't have to abandon your religion. You don't have to do any of those things. All I request is just give it a thought. A thought for peace, not for the world, because the world doesn't need it. But we do. Peace in your life. If the dolphins are miserable, it's because of us. If the whales are miserable, it's because of us. If the world is polluted, it's because of us. We're the ones bothering the crows. I know we think crows bother us, but we're the ones bothering the crows much more than the crows bother us. We are the ones that need the peace. Tomorrow, I'll be somewhere else. A few days later, I'll be talking to people of another country. And as I travel through the country, to country, to country, to country, I would like to say to them, and I have just come from this country where I talked about peace. And they told me that they will give peace a thought. That they will give peace a chance. May I tell people of this world that I was just recently in Hyderabad, India, And I have been told by them that they will give a thought to inner peace. Knowing about others is wisdom. Knowing about the self is enlightenment. So, that's all I have to say. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to be able to talk to you. Thank you.